Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Welsh from Eaton Chiropractic here in Cobb County, Georgia, where we ask you to think, feel, and do differently. So I've always been a firm believer that if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. And there's certainly no shortage of information nowadays. The problem is, how do we actually sort through it all? You know, where do you start? And I think the best place to start is with our values. The values I'm going to look at tonight are, number one, is there a potential in our environment that it could change if we personally act differently? Number two, what is the chance of actually getting anyone else to change? And number three, do you like advice or being told what to do? So let's start with some truths. Number one, we do not live in a system that encourages wellness behaviors. I mean, look at our politics, our banking, our schools, our marriages, the lines at McDonald's, our disdain, our outrage. However, I do believe that we need to raise up the good. And there is so much research that if we could cut cancer rates in half if we just made different wellness behavior decisions. So we need to raise up a big enough why to help people make the choice to change. So my hope is that after we talk tonight, you'll have a few takeaways. My hope is that we change the system to care for people and not just treat disease. My hope is that you can start this change and that you can challenge yourself and it'll go beyond this screen. And my hope is that if, just as an intellectual exercise, I want to motivate you to act differently. And my hope is that I will leave on in your comments one thing you think you'll do differently. So did you know that 75% of over $3 trillion in the United States is used on crisis care, on chronic diseases, and many preventable diseases that can be changed with lifestyles? But this requires a change in thinking, conversations, and adaptation. Because symptoms are most frequently the last sign of an illness to present themselves, and they're the first ones to go away. Thus, if we just feebly care for reducing symptoms and cease caring as soon as they're gone, then we've cared for little or nothing regarding the cause. When we facilitate wellness, we're focusing on improving function rather than just eliminating symptoms. So, but what is really happening in our healthcare system is we're simply just suppressing symptoms. And symptoms are simply our body's alert that there's an underlying problem. So my challenge to you is to have you think about this and how you can change this personally for yourself, not for anyone else. I am on a crusade to remove the words you should or you need to out of the healthcare system and start by being an example. Whether that's to our children, our spouse, or the people in our lives that we have any influence over. So I would love for you to think about this. There are more costs now for healthcare, and those costs are leading to us even less results in improved health. There's more sugar and less exercise, and that's leading to increased dementia. There's more TV and less mental exercise, increasing your risk of Alzheimer's. There's too much spending and less savings, leading to economic crisis. There are spending time at work and less time with your families, leading to a breakdown in your family structure. So what are we going to do about this? How are we going to make a change? And how do we assess what wellness is? Well, in my practice, we look at 5 measures of the quality of your life. Number 1 is your physical state. Number 2 is your mental or emotional state. Number 3 is your life enjoyment. Number 4 is your stress evaluation. And number 5 is your body weight, because it does matter. But did you know that 1 in 3 children in the United States is overweight or morbidly obese? Which is why I originally began a kids running program over 13 years ago and made movement a priority for my family and people in my community. Because obesity prevalence among children and adolescents has tripled since 1980. That's only 50 years for children's health to be decimated. This is the first generation of kids who are less healthy than their parents, and this generation is expected to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. Did you know that the minimum recommended daily aerobic physical activity for kids is 60 minutes? The average time kids are actually spending on media, TVs, computers, games, videos is over 8 hours a day. And it's our consistent behaviors that are going to be the most important for us to move forward. So I'm going to throw a few more facts at you. The CDC released that 1 in 5 people to 1 in 3 adults will be diabetic by 2050. 95% of people who lose weight regain it. And when someone is obese, the odds of their close friends becoming obese triples. Dr. Alex Lickerman, the former director of the primary care portion of the University of Chicago, said that it's not that most doctors don't care, it's just that they just don't have the time, they don't have the training, and they don't have the interest in helping their patients stay well because their model doesn't really support this as a profitable endeavor. But most importantly, doctors are finding that patients actually would prefer a quick fix with a pill or a potion or a powder instead of making sustainable lifestyle changes, because changing is hard. But you can increase your lifespan by 14 years by simply not smoking, actually exercising, drinking little to no alcohol, and doing 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. It's really that simple, but it's hard. The Archives of Internal Medicine reported in a study of 23,000 people who adhered to those 4 simple behaviors: not smoking, exercising daily, eating a healthy diet, and maintaining a healthy weight. And what they found was a reduction in diabetes by 93%, a reduction in heart attacks by 81%, of strokes by 50%, and cancer diagnoses by 38%. So what do we do, right? I mean, what do we do with this information? Well, I think the first thing we have to do is take personal responsibility to choose more wellness activities. And we need to make different choices in our lifestyle. And we need to select doctors who teach us wellness, just not crisis care. And we need to take action on all of those vital needs that we have for life. Now, the vital needs means something that if it were eliminated, life would end. Which of these needs I want to go over, if these were eliminated, would take the longest to end your life. Number 1, nerve flow, oxygen, water, or food. Now remember, these are all vital needs, so they're all very important. But caring for some produce and fast positive effects, what we'd find is with food, you'd have to live with completely no nutrition for how long to die? Like maybe a month. But how long would you live if you completely eliminated water from your diet? Maybe a couple of weeks. Therefore, water is clearly more vital of a need than food. So if you wish to take the most efficient and effective steps, first you would improve your water habits by altering your food intake, and then the fastest response would be the fastest response to improving your health. But what about oxygen? How long could you live without oxygen? 5 minutes maybe? Therefore, your efforts to improve your actions with oxygenation rituals will have yet a greater effect on your body than dealing with water and nutrition. So water and nutrition are still really important, but oxygen is even more important. So how long do you think you would live if you eliminated the mental neural impulses from your brain that go from your brain to your spinal cord? How long? You'd die instantly. Therefore, the most critical system to work in the first and foremost in peak performance is your brain and spinal cord. So I ask you, what do you do presently on a daily basis that enhances the quality of the messages coming from your brain to your body? Do you continually check your posture? Do you do your posture maintaining exercises through the day? Do you constantly adjust and retune your workstation, your car seat, your bed, your pillows, your computer screen? Do you have your spine checked for subluxations? You have to decide to do something different to improve each one of your vital needs, but the most profound setback or sickness will come from a sick or misaligned spine, that's evident when we find these posture checks. So my question is, do you plan on being someone who continues to improve the quality of your life? This is your chance to draw a line in the sand and begin to look at yourself more wisely. Because research has shown that all of the people who die of heart disease, hundreds and thousands of individuals, for 40% of those individuals, the first sign that was actually reported was what? The heart attack that killed them. right? So in most cases, there were plenty of signs indicating something was wrong in advance, but what did they do? They ignored them. So do you think if your family members who were brought up here now and they had to comment on whether they wished those individuals would have responded differently, wish their loved ones would have not ignored little signs that showed up ahead of time, do you think those individuals who are no longer with us, if they had a second chance, would have responded differently? I'm going to say yeah. So my job is not to tell you what to do. My job is to come alongside you. And when you're ready to make a lasting change in your life, I'll be here. So if this conversation tonight has resonated with you at all, please give our office a call and schedule a consultation at my expense. I am truly looking forward to coming alongside you to help you think, feel, and do differently. Again, I'm Dr. Chris Welsh from Eaton Chiropractic in Cobb County, Georgia, and I hope you have an amazing evening.